Listen, and listen carefully. Because what I'm about to tell you is the kind of truth most people cannot handle. A truth Niccolò Machiavelli understood centuries ago. A truth every powerful man eventually learns. A truth that explains why jealous people stalk your progress. Why silent haters circle your life like shadows in the corner of a dimly lit room. Why individuals who once clapped for you begin to study you, envy you, resent you. It is simple. It is ancient. It is brutal. People hate what they cannot control, and they attack what they secretly admire. This is where your education begins. Breathe and enter the mind of Machiavelli. Machiavelli never feared jealous people. He studied them. He treated jealousy as a predictable force, a signal, a pattern, a doorway into power dynamics most men never see. And he understood something powerful. Jealousy is not about you. Jealousy is about the emptiness inside them. But handling jealous people and the secret haters hiding behind polite smiles requires more than intelligence. It requires dark psychology awareness, emotional control, a stoic mindset, and the silent power habits that separate the strong from the weak. You're about to learn exactly how to navigate these people. Not with anger, not with insecurity, but with Machiavellian tactics, Stoic secrets for emotional control, and psychological habits of successful men. This is not entertainment. This is training. Stoic mindset training, masculine frame psychology, power and influence psychology, and the calm, dominant approach that makes jealous people fear you without you ever raising your voice. Before we go deeper, take a moment and make sure you're part of this journey. Subscribe to White Side of Black Coded, because here, we don't just talk about success, we decode the silent forces that shape it. Every week, I reveal the hidden psychology behind wealth, power, and human behavior. Truths most people will never hear in their lifetime. Let's dive in. Machiavelli wrote extensively about envy, sabotage, hidden attacks, and the silent wars people create when they cannot match your strength. He observed that men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their inheritance. Jealousy comes from loss. Loss of status, loss of relevance, loss of power, loss of emotional superiority, loss of the illusion that they are equal to you. When you improve yourself through discipline, wealth psychology, mindset shift, social intelligence skills, or masculine frame development, insecure people feel threatened. Your growth becomes their crisis. Your discipline becomes their discomfort. Your confidence becomes their silent humiliation. And so they react, not openly, but quietly, strategically, passive-aggressively. They test you. They gossip in circles you don't see. They study your weaknesses and amplify your mistakes. They wait. They whisper. They collect reasons to despise you. Why? Because deep down, they know something they will never admit. They want your power, but they don't want your discipline. They want your confidence, but they don't want your self-discipline habits. They want your success, but they cannot stomach what it requires. This is why Machiavelli warns, envy is more dangerous than hatred, because envy pretends to be friendly until it chooses to strike. Secret haters do not always announce themselves. They don't need to. They hide behind forced compliments, fake admiration, strategic silence, passive resistance, small jokes that feel like cuts, clapping only when you lose. Their behavior reveals their emotional insecurity. Their energy reveals their mindset. Their reactions reveal their fear. This is dark psychology in its simplest form. Jealous people expose themselves through micro behaviors. Their eyes shift when you win. Their tone drops when you rise. Their support fades when your life moves in a direction they cannot follow. Their questions become loaded with envy instead of curiosity. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He warns that people who envy you will sabotage you the moment you drop your guard. This is why your first weapon is not anger, not confrontation, not revenge. Before we discuss how to handle jealous people, you must understand what Machiavelli teaches about them. Take a slow breath, because the next lesson is important, and it will reshape the way you see human behavior forever. What they fear, they obey. What they envy, they betray. It sounds harsh, cold, merciless, but it is the truth. The jealous do not respect kindness. They interpret kindness as weakness. They test it. They push it. They take advantage of it. Why? Because jealous people do not operate from love. They operate from insecurity, from inferiority, from comparison, from the pain of watching someone become what they are afraid to attempt. So the first Machiavellian tactic every man should know is this: never let jealous people feel they are your equal. Not in mindset, not in discipline, not in ambition, not in emotional control, not in confidence. The moment you lower yourself to comfort them, you lose power. The moment you explain yourself, you lose power. The moment you argue, you lose power. Power in Machiavelli's world is maintained through silence, distance, unpredictability, controlled emotion, and a calm, dominant presence. This is how you build the powerful masculine frame that jealous people cannot penetrate. Stoicism teaches a powerful truth. You cannot control people's jealousy, but you can control your reaction to it. This is where real strength begins, not in fighting your haters, but in refusing to be moved by them. Stoic secrets for emotional control tell us: remain unmoved by provocation. Do not take reactions personally. Never reveal what bothers you. See insults as information. Treat envy as confirmation of your progress. This is how to stay calm in any situation. This is masculine frame psychology at its highest level. This is how to think like a winner. The more emotionally stable you become, the more jealous people expose themselves, because nothing rattles the insecure more than someone they cannot shake. You cannot defeat what you do not recognize, Machiavelli believed. Every enemy, every jealous person, every hidden hater belongs to one of three categories. And if you misread even one, you lose power. So listen slowly. Let each category sink in like a stone descending through water, because this knowledge will protect you for the rest of your life. These are the bold ones, the direct ones, the ones who cannot hide their envy. Their eyes betray them. Their tone shifts. The air changes when they walk into the room. They challenge you. They question you. They criticize you in obvious ways. They push against your boundaries because they want to see if you break. Machiavelli teaches an enemy who reveals himself is a gift. Why? Because the openly jealous are predictable, and predictability is a gift in power dynamics. They cannot control their emotions. They cannot control their tongue. They expose their insecurity through every reaction. These people are controlled by envy, not strategy. So here is the Machiavellian tactic. Tactic number 1, do not attack, do not explain, do not defend. Simply outgrow them. Outgrow their mindset. Outgrow their standards. Outgrow their emotional immaturity. Outgrow their expectations. Your growth is the battlefield. Your progress is the sword. Your evolution is the silence that humiliates them. Because nothing destroys the openly jealous more than realizing you aren't even competing with them. You are playing a different game, at a different level, in a different world. This is where dark psychology, the power of silence, and emotional control become your allies. You don't confront, you don't argue, you elevate. And the higher you rise, the smaller they feel. These are the dangerous ones, the quiet ones, the polite ones, the supportive ones. They don't clap too loudly. They don't celebrate your wins. They don't criticize you openly. They smile, but the smile never reaches their eyes. Machiavelli called them the wolves in silk. They sabotage indirectly. They gossip quietly. They undermine privately. They pretend to care while waiting to strike. This is the kind who stay silent when you succeed, who share jokes about you behind your back, who clap when you fall, who pretend to advise you while poisoning your confidence. This is where Machiavellian tactics, Stoic mindset training, and social intelligence skills are crucial. You handle them using tactic number 2. Tactic number 2, keep them close, but keep them powerless. You do not fight them. You do not confront them. You do not expose them. You observe them. You study them. You feed them nothing. No weaknesses, no vulnerabilities, no information. Machiavelli said, if you cannot remove a threat, limit its access. Never let secret haters know your plans, your fears, your insecurities, your mistakes, your ambitions. You give them the illusion of proximity, but the reality of distance. This is silent power, masculine frame psychology, emotional control at its peak. You strip them of weapons by controlling the information they can access. They try to attack your weaknesses, but they cannot find any. They try to manipulate you, but they cannot reach you. They try to provoke you, but you stay calm, unreadable, unshakable. This is the cold personality development that Machiavelli admired. The frame of a high-value man, the confidence of someone who knows his power and does not need to display it loudly. These are the ones who pretend to be on your team. They say, "I'm happy for you. I want you to win. I'm supporting you." But beneath the words lies resistance. You feel it. That subtle tension, that strange tone, that hidden bitterness behind their congratulation. These people admire you publicly, but resent you privately. Why? Because they want your success, your confidence, your mindset shift, your emotional control, your masculine frame. But they don't want to do the work. They want the fruit without the discipline, the spotlight without the scars. Machiavelli warned rulers about this type more than any other, because jealous allies have access, trust, proximity, influence, and that makes them dangerous. So here is the tactic. Tactic number 3, reduce their influence. Quietly, calmly, strategically. You do not cut them off suddenly. That reveals fear. And Machiavelli says, a leader must never act in fear. Instead, you give them less access, less time, less conversation, less emotional presence, less of who you are. You make your circle smaller without drama. You make your boundaries tighter without explanation. You create distance without noise. This is power dynamics mastery. This is how to avoid manipulation. This is how to control emotions without reacting. This is the millionaire mindset psychology habits of powerful men. Move quietly. Decide sharply. Detach elegantly. Because when someone's jealousy grows louder than their loyalty, your distance becomes necessary. And they will notice. They always notice. But they cannot accuse you of anything because you gave them nothing to attack. This is the power and influence psychology at the heart of Machiavelli's teachings. Power is maintained not by noise, but by precision, Machiavelli. In this part, we move from understanding jealous people to neutralizing them, strategically, silently, effectively. This is where Machiavelli's thinking becomes razor-sharp, where dark psychology, stoicism, and masculine frame psychology fuse into one dominant, unshakable presence. Listen slowly, because what follows will give you the blueprint all powerful men quietly follow. Machiavelli understood something most men never grasp. You cannot control people, but you can control the reaction they provoke. This is the beginning of emotional control, the heart of Stoic mindset training, the core of high-value man traits. Because jealous people want to see you react. They want you flustered, off balance, defensive, threatened. Your reaction feeds them. Your silence starves them. So before you handle them externally, you must fortify yourself internally. Repeat this in your mind. I do not respond from emotion. I respond from power. You breathe slowly. You pause deliberately. You speak minimally. This is the power of silent psychology, the most underrated psychological weapon in existence. The more calm you become, the more unbalanced jealous people feel. This is why Stoic men appear cold, because they don't react to insults. They don't explain. They don't justify. The insecure interpret this as arrogance, but in truth, it is emotional mastery. Jealous people collapse without an audience. Machiavelli knew. The envious destroy themselves trying to destroy you. Attention is oxygen for haters. The more you react, the louder they become. The more you explain, the bolder they grow. The more you argue, the more drama they create. So you do something far more powerful. You give them no recognition, no emotional charge, no counterattack, no validation. You don't look their way. You don't acknowledge their comments. You don't rise to their provocations.
This is not passivity. This is strategy. This is Machiavellian tactics used with precision. Watch how their behavior changes. They become irritated, then confused, then ashamed, then irrelevant. Because the moment your attention disappears, their power evaporates. This is where social intelligence skills come in. The social frame is simple. Whoever controls the emotional tone controls the room.
Jealous people try to infect a room with negativity, sarcasm, doubt, subtle disrespect. So you do not fight their energy. You override it with calm, with confidence, with emotional steadiness. You speak less, but with more weight. You move slower, but with more purpose. You choose your words, but deliver them with precision. This is a psychological effect Machiavelli understood. People follow the one who appears least bothered. When you stay calm, you create a gravitational force. People naturally trust calmness because calmness is associated with power. This is how you build a powerful masculine frame. You do not dominate the room with noise, you dominate the room with presence. Jealous people cannot compete with this because their emotions control them. Your emotions obey you, and this alone separates you from them. Machiavelli was ruthless about this. He who reveals his heart gives his enemy a knife. Jealous people collect information. They observe, they listen, they wait. They want to know what hurts you, what makes you insecure, what triggers you, what you fear, what you desire, what you lack, because your weakness becomes their leverage. So you become unreadable, emotionally private, psychologically guarded, not cold, not rude, but strategically silent. You share very little about your inner world. You reveal nothing that can be used against you. You keep conversations shallow with people you do not trust. This is cold personality development, but not heartlessness. It is self-protection, self-respect, self-preservation. Your emotional privacy becomes your armor, because jealous people cannot attack what they cannot see. Distance is one of the most Machiavellian tools. You don't block, you don't confront, you don't declare war. You simply detach, disappear, reposition. You reduce your exposure, your emotional availability, your conversations, your presence. Jealous people feel this instantly, the shift in your energy, the difference in your tone, the quiet boundaries, and it crushes them more than arguments ever could. Distance does three things. It protects your peace, it exposes their insecurity, it increases your value. People always respect distance more than explanations because distance communicates power without a single word. This is how to avoid manipulation. You remove the manipulator's access. The ultimate strategy is this: outgrow your enemies so dramatically that they cannot reach you. Not financially alone, though millionaire mindset psychology helps. Not physically alone, though self-discipline habits strengthen you. Not socially alone, though confidence and influence matter. But holistically, your mindset evolves. Your habits sharpen. Your presence deepens. Your emotional control strengthens. Your intelligence expands. Your frame becomes unshakable. This is the psychological habits of successful men, the ones who rise beyond envy. Why? Because weak people envy improvement. Strong people pursue it. When your self-discipline grows, your haters fall behind. When your masculine frame matures, their opinions lose weight. When your mindset shifts, their relevance dissolves. When your silence deepens, their noise dies. This is how to think like a winner and how to make jealous people powerless. Quote, "Weak men test you from insecurity. Strong men test you from strategy." End quote, Machiavelli. There is a reason jealous people test you, a reason secret haters provoke you, a reason insecure individuals push boundaries, create tension, and search for ways to knock you off balance. It has nothing to do with morality, nothing to do with justice, nothing to do with right or wrong. It has everything to do with power dynamics. Machiavelli understood the truth most men are too afraid to say.
People test you to measure your strength, your emotional stability, your masculine frame, your resistance to manipulation, your potential to be dominated. And they test the moment they sense your rise. Your ambition triggers their insecurity. Your discipline triggers their envy. Your silence triggers their fear. Your confidence triggers their resentment. Your very existence becomes a mirror they cannot bear to look into. So they test, not because you did something wrong, but because you became something they cannot ignore. Here are the truths Machiavelli and modern dark psychology agree on. 1. They test you to confirm their own superiority. If you react emotionally, they feel powerful. If you break frame, they feel validated. 2. They test you to sabotage your rise. Your improvement makes them uncomfortable. They push you, hoping you'll collapse. 3. They test you to pull you down to their level. If you argue, explain, defend, or justify, you become equal to them, and this destroys your silent power. 4. They test you to see if you're bluffing. Are you truly strong, disciplined, controlled, or are you pretending? 5. They test you because they fear what you could become, not what you are today, but what your potential threatens in them. This is why high-value men, successful men, disciplined men, men who practice emotional control techniques are always tested more. Your strength exposes their weakness. Your mindset shift exposes their stagnation. Your self-discipline habits expose their laziness. Your masculine frame psychology exposes their emotional instability. And nothing triggers jealousy more than being outgrown. You do not fight these tests. You use them. Each test becomes an opportunity to demonstrate power without aggression. Here is how. The moment you break frame, you lose. The moment you react emotionally, you lose. The moment you explain yourself, you lose. Machiavelli said, "A prince must appear composed even in the storms." And that is your rule. Stay calm, stay slow, stay controlled. If they insult you, you blink slowly. If they provoke you, you breathe deeper. If they challenge you, you answer with measured, minimal words. This is how to stay calm in any situation, not because you feel no emotion, but because you refuse to hand your emotions to someone who hasn't earned them. This alone destroys jealous people mentally. Your calmness humiliates their chaos. Sometimes, the most intimidating thing you can do is look at someone without reacting. A controlled gaze, a calm expression, a slow breath. You're not arguing, you're not defending, you're not explaining. You are watching, and your watching is louder than their words. This is where silent power habits dominate. The jealous feel exposed under your gaze.
The insecure feel weak. The manipulators feel threatened. Your silence becomes pressure. Your stillness becomes dominance. This is power and influence psychology in its purest form. Machiavelli advised leaders to speak rarely and only with purpose. When people test you, use short sentences, calm tone, deliberate pauses, emotionally neutral responses. Example: they insult you. You answer, noted. They challenge you. You answer, if you say so. They try to provoke you. You answer, I hear you. These phrases are psychologically devastating. They reveal emotional control, confidence, masculine frame, and unshakable strength. And most importantly, you are not playing on their level. They cannot drag you into their world. You remain untouchable. This is dark psychology, but used for self-defense. Jealous people want proximity. They want emotional access. They want angles. They want vulnerability. You give them none. You stand back slightly. You turn your body away a degree. You control physical and psychological space. Distance communicates hierarchy. It tells them, you are not on my level, not with arrogance, not with aggression, but with quiet, unspoken dominance.
This is how powerful men protect themselves. This is how you avoid manipulation. This is how you maintain your frame. Never rush to expose jealous people. Never force the truth. Never reveal what you know. Be patient. Machiavelli said, "Time reveals all things, especially enemies." Let them talk. Let them act. Let them reveal their envy. Let them betray themselves through their own impatience. People driven by jealousy always overplay their hand. People driven by insecurity always reveal their intentions. People driven by envy always show their weakness. Your job is simple. Observe, record, remember, and stay silent. Because when the time comes, your silence will become your strength. People do not respect kindness. They respect boundaries. People do not respect softness. They respect emotional control. People do not respect loudness. They respect presence. Strength is not aggression. Strength is stability. Strength is calmness under pressure. Strength is the masculine frame that remains unbroken. This is why people test you. They want to know, are you strong enough to lead yourself? Strong enough to control your emotions? Strong enough to hold your frame? Strong enough to walk away? Strong enough to be alone? Strong enough to outgrow them? When you show them strength, they stop testing. When you show them weakness, they escalate. This is the law Machiavelli never stopped teaching. The greatest victory is not defeating your enemies, but becoming untouchable to them. Machiavelli. This is the final stage. The stage where jealousy stops. The stage where secret haters silence themselves. The stage where you rise high enough that noise cannot reach you and envy cannot touch you. Machiavelli understood one truth better than anyone. Power does not come from fighting small people. Power comes from outgrowing them. Jealousy only clings to those standing still. Envy only attacks those within reach. Haters only bite what is close enough. So your final strategy is not confrontation, but elevation. A psychological, emotional, and strategic rise that takes you far beyond the reach of insecurity. This is how powerful men ascend. This is how legends are built. This is how rulers shape themselves. This is how you transcend the jealous and the bitter forever.
Listen slowly, because these are the final laws. Law 1. Make personal evolution your shield. Machiavelli believed the strongest armor a man can possess is constant improvement. Improvement is a force, a weapon, a shield, a spiritual rebirth. People cannot hate what they cannot reach. People cannot sabotage what they cannot touch. People cannot attack what they cannot understand. This is why your discipline is your protection. Your self-mastery is your fortress. Your mindset shift is your liberation. Your growth is your silence. Your evolution is your revenge. Envy weakens as you strengthen. Hatred fades as you rise. Jealousy dissolves as you transform. This is the path of the powerful. This is the psychological habits of successful men. This is the millionaire mindset psychology at its purest. You evolve, and you become untouchable. Law 2. Build a life structured for power, not approval. Jealous people thrive on your need for validation. When you no longer need approval, you destroy their influence. Your life must become structured around purpose, discipline, solitude, emotional control, clarity, focus, long-term goals. Not attention, not popularity, not applause. This is how powerful men build their lives. This is how rulers operate. This is how you develop self-discipline habits, silent power, cold personality development, and high-value man traits that cannot be shaken. Approval makes you vulnerable. Purpose makes you unstoppable. Law 3. Let your results speak louder than your words. Machiavelli knew people can argue with your words, but they cannot argue with your results.
This is why powerful men stay silent. It is why Stoic leaders rarely explain. It is why the confident rarely boast. Every achievement becomes a statement, a weapon, a shield, a refutation, a warning. Your progress becomes a language jealous people cannot speak. Your success becomes a reality haters cannot deny. Your elevation becomes a blow they cannot stop. This is power and influence psychology. Results crush resistance. So chase outcomes, not arguments. Law 4. Develop the aura of calm dominance. There are men who talk about power and men who embody it. The man who commands the room is not the loudest, not the strongest, not the richest. It is the man with the unbreakable aura. The man who carries emotional control, silent confidence, stillness under pressure, masculine frame, stoic calm, unshakable presence. This aura is built through how to control emotions, how to stay calm in any situation, how to build a powerful masculine frame, how to avoid manipulation, the power of silence psychology. When you master these, people feel you before you speak. They sense your strength before you act. They respect you before they understand you. This is why people respect strength. This is why they fear certain men without knowing why. This is why rulers walk differently. Your aura becomes your armor. Law 5. Adopt the cold growth method. This is one of the most Machiavellian concepts in power psychology. Cold growth means you grow quietly, you rise silently, you evolve without notification, you improve without announcement. No one knows your next move. No one knows your plans. No one knows your struggles. No one knows your victories until they become undeniable. This creates psychological distance. It creates mystique. It creates power. The jealous cannot sabotage what they cannot see. The insecure cannot attack what they cannot predict. The haters cannot interfere with what they do not understand. Cold growth protects you from envy. Cold growth confuses those who test you. Cold growth elevates you beyond competition. This is pure Machiavellian strategy. This is what every powerful man quietly practices. Law 7. Become the unreachable man. This is the final transformation, the highest level of Machiavellian and Stoic mastery, the state where jealousy no longer affects you. How? Because you become emotionally steady, mentally sharp, socially intelligent, physically disciplined, spiritually grounded, financially empowered, psychologically unshakable. You become the man who does not break, who does not react, who does not chase, who does not explain, who does not fear, who does not fold, who does not get pulled down. This is the man jealous people fear. This is the man secret haters cannot access. This is the man whose silence says more than their insults. This is the man whose presence shuts down envy. This is the man Machiavelli wrote for. This is the man Stoicism was built for. This is the man you are becoming. Jealous people are not obstacles. They are indicators, confirmation signals, signs that you are rising above the ordinary. The presence of jealousy does not mean you failed. It means you are becoming visible, valuable, inevitable. And your response determines your future. Never fight downward. Never explain downward. Never descend to the level of those who resent your rise. Your growth is your retaliation. Your silence is your weapon. Your discipline is your dominance. Your evolution is your triumph. And the world will feel the difference. Become so powerful that jealous people destroy themselves trying to reach you. That is the Machiavellian way. That is the Stoic way. That is the way of the quietly powerful. And now, it is your way.